Hey guys, this is Evilzombie. I wanted to talk to you about a microphone I just got. That's awesome, and I just wanted to go over my thoughts on it, what's in the box, all that stuff, just so you have a full overview of it. So I did an unboxing video, but I accidentally had echo turned on my system, so I had to redo it now. But no big loss, it's easy. Anyways, what comes in the box first? You have the microphone. Oh, and by the way, it's the Tonor BM-700, which is very similar to the NW-700 from Newer. Um, I think it's the same PCB on them. They sound very similar. Both of them have the same frequency response of 20 hertz to 20 kilohertz, and they're both unidirectional condenser microphones. This is a condenser microphone. It does require some power, but that all comes directly from the plug, which can support the 5 volts that it actually requires, because it doesn't actually require a full 48 volts. So there's that. Okay, so moving on, what comes in the box? The microphone, which I actually, just based on the looks, I actually really like how this microphone looks. So it has a nice silver kind of looking grill on it, which I think looks awesome. And it has a cool, it's kind of like a blue color. I really like this. A lot of the microphones I see are like just solid black, like this one. It's a solid black, and this, I don't know, it's just nice. It's an all metal body, also. It's good construction. If you ever need to replace, and the top of it also has a thin windscreen in it. If you ever need to replace anything or do any repairs, then it just comes apart by unscrewing the bottom of it. It's easy. There's also XLR connection in the bottom, which brings us into the next thing that it comes with. So that's the microphone. Next thing it comes with is the cable. So you can use a regular XLR cable on this if you have an audio interface or a phantom power supply. But it does come with this one by default, so all you need is this cable and the microphone. You can plug this 3.5 millimeter cable into your computer or other recording device that requires only a 3.5 millimeter connection, and this end in the microphone. It has decent shielding. It looks like it's really good quality. I actually didn't notice really much hiss at all, just what you would expect from something connected directly to a computer, but it was a very minimal amount of hiss, so that's acceptable. If you've done like YouTubing or things like that, it's great. Okay, next up, a mounting bracket. This is actually, after trying it out, this is probably one of my favorite mounting brackets now, because the hole on here matches the size of the hole on the arm, and it just keeps it from wobbling. It's a wonderful design. It's actually pretty nice. It's a pretty high quality item, and it elevates it just slightly above the lip so that your arm can swing all the way around, which I thought was awesome. I loved that. That was one of my favorite features. So mobility, that was really cool. Um, so what else came in it is the arm, which is very lightweight. It's very thin, but it's actually pretty sturdy. Um, it might creak a little bit, but no, it's pretty quiet overall. The only gripe I had was just there's no knob here at all, so you'll have to do any loosening or tightening by hand or with tools on that. No knob on that part. But up here there is one, so there you go. So that came with it. The next thing that came with the box, or inside the box, is the shock mount for it, which is actually a pretty good little shock mount. It's nice soft material inside the ring. It's like a foam rubber. Has, of course, the standard elastic cables you'd expect. And if you tap the arm, it does protect it. And overall, this is either a cast iron or aluminum, some kind of metal. And it looks like it does have an adapter inside the base of it for different sizes of mounts, which I think is a nice touch. Also comes with a windscreen. Yep, so blocking those plosives and all those nasty mouth sounds. And it fits perfectly on the microphone. You just slip it on the top. It's made for it. Of course, the instruction manual, which does have some of the basic details. There you go, and you can kind of see it. Okay, it's a little too bright. Either way. And I have not taken this one out of the bag because I never use these really, but it's nice to have one if I ever need it. A pop filter. I normally just use a windscreen because I normally do a lot of recording for video stuff, so I don't want to have a windscreen in the middle of the video. But if you're doing singing, it's a great thing to have. It helps with the plosives. So from the build, it actually seems like a pretty good quality windscreen. Windscreens are basically a dime a dozen. They're all over the place. I have a box of them up there from past microphones. I just get windscreens with some things, and I just have a box of them. So they're good if you need them, and that's what it is. That's all that really came in the box, and it was nice. So if you want to hear what the microphone sounds like, here you go. Okay, so now that you guys have seen what comes in the box, I got the microphone hooked up on the arm that it came with, in the shock mount that it came with, the microphone that came with it, and the cable plugged directly into my computer, the one that they provided, which actually looks like it has some pretty impressive shielding, so that was nice. But it feels like a pretty high quality cable. That's plugged in directly to my computer, and the microphones are in the computer's 3.5mm jack. So this is what the microphone sounds like first off, without the pop filter, without the windscreen. So if you want, just hold on a second. Now you're going to see what it sounds like with the windscreen. Okay, so here's what the microphone sounds like with the windscreen on it. So you can kind of hear what that sounds like. Pa pa pa, ta ta ta. It does kind of help out with the plosives a little bit, and it just sounds a little bit nicer. I like the sound of a microphone with the windscreen on it. That's how I usually record. This is kind of my preference. It also stops a lot of the mouth sounds, the breathing sounds, the clicks, the clacks, all that. Okay, now I'm going to show you what it sounds like from different ranges. I'm right up on the microphone from maybe like 2 inches away. This is what it sounds like. If I'm about 6 inches away from the microphone, this is what it sounds like. About a foot away from the microphone, this is what it sounds like. This is what it sounds like talking to you as I go around the microphone, so you can kind of hear what that sounds like. If I turn it from behind the microphone, so you can hear what it sounds like. There we go. This is a unidirectional microphone, which means it picks up the sound in front. That's what I was just demonstrating. It has a harder time picking up sounds behind it. That's why it sounds a little quieter as I turn. So that's the reason for that. As far as the capabilities of the microphone, it has a frequency range of 20 Hz to 20 kilohertz, and it's a pretty flat frequency response. More or less, it basically sounds like what you actually sound like, not making your voice any warmer or deeper, not making it super high. It's pretty accurate, and it's a good clear sound, surprisingly clear, with just plugging it in directly to a computer. That's surprisingly clear. But if you want to get rid of any kind of hiss that you hear, I'm not going to do any kind of editing, by the way. No editing the audio quality at all. I might just adjust the level of the volume so you can hear it a little easier to bring it up, but I'm not going to do any kind of post-production, no compression, no noise removal, nothing like that. What you hear is what you get on this microphone. So that's exactly what it sounds like. If you ever want to actually, sometimes in microphones like this, if you plug them in directly to a computer, you get caught in what's called a grounding loop. So then you need to sometimes get rid of the hiss that you get from being in a grounding loop. It's an electrical hiss. It'll just kind of be like a shh in the background. There is a way to get rid of that. Did my poster just light up randomly? Okay, but yeah, there's a way to get rid of that. You have two options basically to do that. One of them is a phantom power supply. So phantom power supply basically, it has its own power supply, and it removes you from the grounding loop by putting you directly into a grounded cable in the computer or on the wall. And you just put the cable in, it transfers, and you put it back out. It supplies the full amount of power. You actually probably get a little bit better audio quality from that overall, just because it's powering the microphone a little more efficiently, and there's no electrical ground loop that you're caught in from all the craziness that happens in your computer. Okay, so that's one option. The second option is an audio interface. Those are a little more expensive. A phantom power supply is normally about $20 maybe, and the audio interface, they start at like 60 for a decent one. I went for Behringer because it's nice. I mean, I like Behringer. They have good quality, and I enjoy it. But yeah, you can get one of those, and you can plug it in directly with an XLR cable, and that will give you fantastic quality anyways, using the same microphone. Then you can have pretty much studio quality sound. Now, what do I think of the quality of sound I get from this microphone specifically? Personally, I enjoy a deeper tone, so this is not the complete sound that I normally go for. I ended up going around tons of microphones and eventually just went for MXL because that was just kind of my preference for sound. But that's just me personally, because when I record in the mornings, my voice ends up sounding like this, where I have a slightly warmer tone. And then a microphone like this just doesn't handle a boomier voice as well. But most females who would use it will actually love this microphone. Most men with a higher register will probably love this microphone. It's good for doing podcasting. It's good for doing YouTubing, of course. Well, maybe podcasting. It's good for singing. I guarantee it's good for singing. This is nice. But for podcasting, maybe not condenser microphone for podcasting. I'd have to actually recommend you get a dynamic microphone for that. But for YouTubing, it's fine. It's great for that. I used to use NW700 for a long time, and I would go back to that because that one's gone now. And this is a really good option to have. It's a nice all-in-one kit. You can literally bring the kit with you for a travel kit, and you can have a full recording setup for like $30. I think that's awesome. So, would I suggest this microphone? Yes. Yes, I would. It's a good starter set. If you don't have any previous audio recording equipment, and you don't have a nice microphone yet, you don't have all that equipment yet, yes, I would suggest you get this. It's a great starting point. This is a great way to get your foot in the door to be able to start recording and have decent quality audio. It doesn't, they say studio quality audio. You can get studio quality audio if you get something like a phantom power supply, audio treatment in your room, like, or even audio interface. That does help boost you to a much higher level of quality. But is it a good sound just out of the box? Yes. Yes, it is. It's a great sound. This is a good microphone. I do suggest it. It's a fantastic value for the price. Now, what do I think of the shock mount? Shock mount's actually pretty good quality. I was actually kind of surprised. It seems to work pretty well. Here, listen to this. There you go. I just tapped it. You kind of hear what it sounds like. What do I think of the arm? It's a good shock mount. And you get that just in the box. What do I think of the arm? Other than my one little gripe earlier, it's a fantastic arm. I actually love the mounting bracket for this better than any shock mount I've had before. Like, here's my other one, the old one I had for a newer microphone. I had a lot of gripes with this because it just kind of wobbles around there unless you have it super tight. The one that comes with this actually has a nice fitted plastic ring on it to the exact size of the bar, so it doesn't wobble, it stays nice and steady. It actually felt really good and sturdy. So this is a good, for the money, this is a great arm. I was surprised at the quality of that, and it doesn't really seem noisy at all. So that was a good plus to me. I enjoyed that. It has a pretty good range when you move it around, so because you can actually spin it all the way around. The newer one I actually had a lot of trouble doing that. It didn't like to spin all the way around. It liked to spin part way, then it gets stuck on the desk because of that wobbliness. That was a big issue because it leaned over a little bit, unless I had it super over tightened. But this one's nice because of that. That's a big plus in my book. Maneuverability, that was a big thing. The pop filter, how is that? It's a pop filter. It does exactly what it's supposed to. It does it well. I mean, a pop filter, those are a dime a dozen. It's great. It blocks plosives. That's what it does. It's a good pop filter. How's the manual? The manual is adequate. It tells you all the basics that you need to know, and that's what it does. It's a manual. It's a pretty straightforward thing. You hook up the arm, you set this in here, you plug it in, and it's automatically installed. Normally, if you have Windows 10, your computer will probably just automatically set it up as the default device when you plug it in. It's pretty much plug and play. It's nice. So, my thoughts all in all, it's a good deal. Go get it. It's a good way to start. Start your YouTube channel. Start singing. Have fun. So, you've heard what I think about it. You've heard my thoughts. I actually do think it has a good quality of sound. You might want to do a little bit of compression and Audacity with the audio, just a tiny touch of it, and that will even out the sound a little bit. If you get really good with Audacity, do check out equalization. That's pretty nice. So, yeah, that's my thoughts. Hope I was able to make a difference in your mind. Bye.